Once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining for another session of Azure Power Lunch. Just a quick disclaimer that this call is being recorded and we place our recordings on our YouTube channel. If you are not comfortable with it, you may want to drop off now. Okay. So with that, we have an exciting topic today. We're going to talk about no code editor for Stream Analytics. And here is the quick agenda. As we always do, we're just gonna take a quick lap around Stream Analytics, stream processing, and then we talk about no code editor. Most of the time we're gonna spend in the demo. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Um, so Stream Analytics. As you know, this is Microsoft first party service to analyze streaming data. Think of it, data coming out of temperature sensors, goes through Event Hub, goes through IoT Hub, gets to Event Hub. You have Stream Analytics sitting. It's processing this data. You are checking what is the average temperature from, let's say, it's oil wells, and what is that, and based on a kind of a tumbling window, I mean, you can say, okay, 5 minutes or 5 seconds or 10 or 20, whatever your limit is, you can check that particular metrics and then raise an alert or store this data for future processing. So all of that is possible with Stream Analytics. Stream Analytics allows you to do that. What Microsoft is trying to do, I see, it seems like with the no code editor, is make it possible for citizen developers to develop using these services. Because if you take a look at, I mean, we'll look at the creation experience with and without the no code editor, and you will see that it's kind of much simpler when you are using, and it's truly a no code experience. So just any questions so far on the kind of a Stream Analytics? I just want to have a quick level set on that. Okay, so with the no code editor, just keep in mind this is currently in preview. The preview was announced a few months back, and they have made some enhancements to it already. It right now only uses Event Hub as the input. So that's the only input that is available at the moment. In regards to the output, can write to Synapse SQL, Azure SQL, as well as ADLS and Cosmos DB. Okay, and there are a number of transforms that are available for you to use to transform your data. Okay, and I think we will take a look at it once, then it will be much more clear. Finally, uh, just a quick heads up, right now, it's not available for any of the network isolated SKUs. So if cannot access, if you are inside a VNet, things like that. So Event Hub namespace, they have to be, they cannot be network isolated. The second part is you have to use standard SKU or above. Okay, and there are permissions, and once we go through the demo, I think that will be much clearer what permissions are required and all that. So with that, any questions before we jump into the demo? Okay, so here we are in the Azure browser, and here is a list of Stream Analytics job. You can go and you can create a Stream Analytics job, and pretty standard procedure where you provide all the information and you create it. I'm gonna just to save time, I already created a job. I just want to show you experience with the class or with the editor where you have to write the SQL code. Okay, so with the Stream Analytics editor, once you open it, you have three parts. You have input. Input is basically any like IoT Hub, Event Hub, all that. With the no code editor, it's only Event Hub, but in this one, you can pick any input. I mean, you can click on the input and it will ask you, there are three of these available: Event Hub, IoT Hub, and Blob Storage. Okay, you can pick one of those, and then you have the outputs where you're gonna putting the data. And by the way, you can have multiple inputs and multiple outputs. Just keep that in mind. And then you have the query, and that's the meat of things. That's where you can massage your data, you can do aggregations and all that, and they can be really, really complex. And and it becomes sometime if you're new to this service, like becomes a challenge to write the query, and you have to know the stuff. So that's what um, um, Stream Analytics is trying to do with the no code editor. What they're trying to do is trying to make this part simpler, easier, allow the citizen developers to come in and start innovating, building interesting applications. So, um, hope everybody with me so far. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the experience with the no code editor. So that experience start with Event Hub. So let's go into the Event Hub. Yes, and just keep in mind, you cannot have the no code for some reason. I couldn't find a way to have the no code experience directly from Stream Analytics. It starts with the Event Hub. So you go into the Event Hub names. So I have already created a namespace. I have an Event Hub there. And in that Event Hub, you have to click on the process data, and that's where you will see different option. Okay, you want to process this data in the Event Hub. And by the way, just for a minute, I want to let me just increase the font size a little bit. Um, I am sending some sample data to this Event Hub. If you look at this um, window, you will see I am sending. There is city, high temperature, low temperature, and it's coming every second. Just as a kind of a, just a demo data or something. Okay. So I'm sending this to the Event Hub, and now I want to process this data. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a blank canvas. Okay. So let's start with that. It's going to ask you the name of your job. We're going to call it very creative name, and we will start with that. Okay, so it will take a minute to create the job and open the editor up. And here is your canvas. Okay, as you can see, let's for a minute, take a look at the overview of the layout. On on this side, you have your event hub. We haven't set it up yet. Then you have inputs, outputs, operation, save, and settings. Settings basically deal with how you set up diagnostic settings, and you can set it up to send data to a log analytics workspace. Okay. On the bottom, you have data preview. I think this is the most useful thing, and one of the most useful things here, because you can see your data at every stage. So if you are applying transforms and operations, you can see how your data is being transformed. Then it shows you the authoring errors. Okay, what is wrong? Right now it's saying, hey, you haven't set it up. I don't know what source I'm working with, which is fine. Okay, so let's set up our source. So we're gonna click here, and for the minute, I'm gonna hide this window, and this is the source. You can use the existing event hub, or you can create a new one. I'm going to use an existing one, and this is um, um, the what you call um, the consumer group. I'm going to use the first one is the consumer group, the serialization, and I am going to use the managed identity. I don't like using connection string, and what it's going to do is it's going to assign a managed identity to this job, and then give appropriate access on the Event Hub side to that managed identity. So just keep in mind, in order to do that, you should, yeah, it's going to do Azure Event Hub data owner role will be granted to the managed identity. And if it fails, you have to do it manually. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So it is granted, it seems role assignment was successful, a connection test was successful. So let's take a look. And it already, look at that, it already picked up all the fields. So we can either take these fields or we can manually add the fields. So what, that's on you. I mean, you can remove these fields. You can say, I don't need these fields. Okay. And then add manually, rename them and all that. So basically what that means is I can add a field called um, city name, something like that. And I can pick the data type up string and I can add that field in there, a new field, you know. So that's totally on me. I mean, I can, if I want to do something like that. Let's keep this as such and let's show you the data preview. It's already showing the data preview. This is the latest data that it got, and you know, it's showing us that this is the incoming data that has came in, and you can go from there. Okay, so let's move on. Let's add an operation to it. So, uh, folks, if you are not asking question, if you don't mind, can you mute yourself? So let's use a group by. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a group by. I'm going to connect it here. And as you can see, everything is given to me here. It's going to ask, okay, what aggregation you want to use. Group by is always like average, count, maximum. I'm going to use average. I'm going to use high temp field. So this is the average of the high temp field. And this is what it's asking is what field you want to do group by. Just think of it. I hope everybody is familiar with SQL a little bit, like group by this table based on uh, group by, let's say, city name or things like that. So that's what we are doing here. So we're going to do group by city, and that's pretty much it. And we are going to save it. Okay. So once that is saved, um, um, sorry folks, give me 1 second. So um, so we did the group by, and you can see this error here. What it's saying is there is no output, and that's what you will see here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add um, another operation here, and just keep in mind, please save your um, Stream Analytics job because I wasn't doing it, and by accident I kind of refreshed the page and everything, all my progress was gone. So there is no auto save there. So just wanna give everybody a heads up. Let's filter. So what we wanna do is we wanna find out. Sorry, it is not connected. So you see what it was doing? It wasn't showing me any field because it doesn't know what field to select. Once I connect here, then the magic begins. It's gonna pick up the field. So I am wanna select on city equal to Dallas. So that's what I wanna filter on. And I just need the average temperature from Dallas, and um uh, that's that. And then what I'm gonna do is there is another operation I wanna use, which is manage fields, which is what fields I wanna store. It's gonna show me what fields are going in. So these are all the fields. So I can pick and choose what fields I wanna store and that. So basically, what I'm gonna do is um, since I wanna store all the fields, so I can just remove it. And now I'm gonna add an output. Okay, so if, let's do that. Output is set, and let's set this up. I'm going to use a storage account that I have already have. This is my storage account. This is and there are different containers, I'm going to put it in this container. And here also, I'm going to use system managed identity. And it will tell you that it's going to assign a storage blob data contributor role will be granted for this managed identity of this job. Okay. And you can use the path pattern. I'm just going to take all the defaults and that's it. Uh, yeah. So for some reason, sometime you will see this error. Um, I think it takes a minute for this thing to refresh, so don't worry about it. Um, um, I have seen this error before, and it seems like it's some like the preview pane. Sometime it's give you this error, and then this goes away. So let's look at our workflow here. Okay. I'm gonna slide it a little bit here, and I'm gonna open the bottom pane. So let's see we can click here. This is the data preview. This is the input that's coming in. Okay. Then we do the group by, and this is the output city. And this is, you see that? I mean, you can see, you're seeing everything as it goes. Then we filter, and it's showing us only Dallas. And then finally, we are going to be writing it to the output to this storage account. Okay. I hope everybody is with me so far. Any questions? Okay. So with that, it is ready, and let's start the job. So it's going to ask how many oops, streaming units. And as you know, streaming units are nothing. This is just compute and memory that is assigned to this stream analytics job. So more streaming units, if you want to kind of a process faster, less streaming units, of course, if there's a lot of load, it will not be as fast. So that's all there is to it. With that, you're going to start it, and it will take a few minutes to run this job. And once that job is running, then you can see the data in that particular folder. So let's go into that store. And this is the folder that I was talking about. As you can see, it's currently empty. And let's go to our um, job here. As you can see, this is, let's refresh it. It's starting. This is the demo too. This is the job that we have that is still starting. Okay, so while this starting, let's take a look at other job. I mean, that's where we can um, I want to show you a few other things, like you can have multiple inputs as well. So let's set this up once again. We do the same, you know, connect. And let's add another input. We added a second input, and we're going to use the same one, but different. Uh, this one and system assigned identity, connect. So both are connected. And now we can have, what we can do here is we can basically do different operations. So we can, I mean, just want to show, like we can have, uh, once again, a group by here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop right here. Let's see if the job is running. Let's see here. Let's refresh. Yes, our job is running. So let's go in there. That job is running. And let's take a look at the output. Yes, so there is some output. Let's take a look at that and edit. So this is the output. As you can see, the Dallas temperature average is showing what is the average temperature. So that's I want to show you. I want to show you one thing more here. Sorry. on this job. Remember when we were designing how simple it was, just point and click, pick a few values, just look at the queries that has been generated behind the scene. I mean, this is the query that we actually it is generating behind the scene. I mean, it's pretty serious, complex query, but all of it we were able to do without writing a single line of code. All of it was handled or done by just point and click. Okay. So, sorry, switching back and forth. Now we come in here and we select aggregation, we select average, select the field, it is high temperature, and select here city, um, you know, and save. And then we do another group by, sorry, here, same thing, average, but this time we select low temperature, and here we select the field city and save. And then what we do is we do a union, which is union is connect two or more inputs to add events with share field. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to combine those two here, and um, that's pretty much it. And then we can start writing it to ADLS Gen 2. And let's look how our data look like. I mean, okay. So let's start with the first one. This is the data here. Group by, it's still refreshing, so it will show you the data in a second. But just want to give you an idea, like you can design pretty complex workflows, data workflows from end to end as you start going, with this technique. Yeah, let me just save it. I think we have to save it to. Not sure why it is not showing the data preview normally. Okay. So so that's kind of pretty much I wanted to share today, that you can, based on this UI editor, I know it's still in preview, only works with um, Event Hub as the input. Yes, in the inputs, you can have reference data that can come from SQL database or ALS Gen 2, ADLS Gen 2. So definitely you can do that. In regards to outputs, here are the outputs. ADLS Gen 2 that we use, Synapse, Cosmos DB, SQL database. So you can use any one of those outputs. But the input and reference data, basically, if you are using it to provide more details about these inputs, then definitely you want to use reference data there. So that's about that. So any questions, comments? So with that, I mean, if there are no
Hey,
questions, yes, go ahead, please.
hey
Yeah.
Naveed, this is great. Thank you for sharing this. Just a quick thing. Do you have any demo that triggers alerts to show here?
Sorry. What do you mean by alerts?
Like alerting from log analytics is what you said, right?
Oh, so basically, let me show you. Give me 1 second. Let me go to the, let's go back here. Hold on 1 second. Let me save this and let me go into the process data. So we have this job running. So let's look at this running job. So there are, by the way, the preview will only appear if the job is not running. Once it's running, the preview doesn't appear. What you have to have is you have to have setup diagnostic, and then you can set up matrix and alert. So I have one of those where I have set up matrix. Give me 1 second. I was doing that. Yes, that's the one. So you see here, metrics are coming in. I mean, it's showing how the data is being processed. So I was running this job a few minutes ago, and as you can see, it shows you what was that, how much data was processed since last hour, probably last 6 hours. Okay, how many errors were there? All of that it will show you here. You know, so there were 680 input events, 672 output events, things like that. How many events in the backlog? So this is all the metrics information, and these are the runtime logs. Uh, for some reason, um, the runtime logs are not showing up. I'm not sure. I didn't set it up something that I didn't set up. But if I go into the log analytics workspace, the logs are showing up there. And the way you set it up is go into settings and basically go in here and set the appropriate workspace there. That's it. You have to set it up so you can get the logs and then generate alerts on it. Sorry, long-winded answer.
No, that works. Thank you.
And just to prove the point, let me show you here. Log analytics workspaces. If I go in here, you will see the logs here. You see Azure Diagnostics. So these are the logs. So if I do the query here on Azure Diagnostics, the only logs I think you're going to see here are from, wait a second.
You need to build a KQL query here and set up an alert on top of that.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So all the logs, as you can see here, are coming from Stream Analytics. So yes, you will have to build a query and set up the log and alerts and all that. But yes, you can do that. So we have 1 more minute. Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. Then I will give everybody their 1 minute back. Thank you for joining, and hope to see everybody next week for another session of Azure Power Lunch, and have a wonderful long weekend for those who are in US.
Thank you.